Hi everyone, Hawthorne Sagebrush here, and I'm here back with the YouTube Pagan Challenge finally. Let me just double check the numbers on the ones that I'm answering today. So I'll be answering number 19 and 20, so weeks 19 and 20. How do you feel about group work/worship, and what does initiation mean to you? I thought that these kind of went together based on my answers. So how do I feel about group work/worship? I love it. I am a core member of my local pagan group here. We have group rituals. Most of us are solitary with our own practice, but when we come together, whoever is planning that ritual will have the flavor of whatever traditions they come from, like what they can share. For example, I can't really share a lot of what I'm learning in OBOD. I can share like certain things like working with Caradwin and what I've learned about the story of Taliesin and things like that. But I can't really share a lot of the activities that we do in OBOD. But when it comes to my other practice, like I can share my Krishna consciousness side, and I can share my side with I have a semi reclaiming sort of. I've never really been to anything reclaiming. It's just that someone that's taught me a lot about witchcraft and paganism is in reclaiming and fairy. So I know a lot about reclaiming just from that whole shebang. Basically, a lot of what we do is inter-tradition. We have some aspects of druidry. We have some aspects of heathenry. We have a heathen in the group. We have aspects of reclaiming. We have aspects of fairy. We have aspects of a lot of different sides of magic and a lot of different sides of paganism. Some people are Wiccan. We have had Wiccans in the group before. I don't think we have any Wiccans currently in our group. We have had Wiccans. We have an atheist who calls the goddess, they're pretty cool. I mean, and we have all sorts of people. Like, we have people who come who are Unitarian. If you've not heard of Unitarian Universalists, they're pretty damn chill. They're pretty open with pretty much all other religions, because they're kind of an exploratory religion, I guess I could say. Check them out, though, if you... It might be a good place that if you wanted to get together with a group of people, they might be very open. They're usually welcoming congregations. They're usually congregations that welcome all LGBT people, that welcome all, sexualities, genders, religions, that kind of thing. That tends to be their whole thing that they do. So check it out. Maybe that's a place that you can go. And if you feel like you can't share your spirituality with your family, maybe you could go to a place like that, a Unitarian Universalist place. And that's a place where you can connect with other people. And maybe there's other pagans there, because they're not strictly Christian. They do come out of the Christian Unitarian Universalists churches. Those are two separate churches. They came together. And now they're really... they kind of do spring from Christianity, but the couple that I have seen are very not Christian. They celebrate everything. Anybody in the congregation, if there's a Krishna conscious person there, they'll celebrate Janmashtami. If there is a pagan, they'll celebrate Yule and Christmas. And they talk about... they generally have the kids decorate the tree, the Yule tree, with decorations for Yule, Christmas, Hanukkah, all different things. And there's usually a Buddhist eightfold path symbol thrown in. It's really welcoming. It tends to be. Yeah. But basically, when it comes to groups, I really enjoy it. However, I'm not sure how I would feel about being in a coven. I've never been in a coven. There are one or two covens around, but they are very closed. There's one that's more teens, young adults. That is for people 16 to 24. And they're very selective. And it's a Wiccan tradition, so I probably wouldn't slide in there anyway, because I'm not Wiccan. Though, I mean, I could, like, it's the way that I have my spirituality is very complicated because I could feel just as comfortable hanging out with a bunch of Wiccans and doing Wiccan rituals as I could going to, like, the UK and doing an OBOT ritual, um, or being in, like, Vancouver or San Francisco doing a reclaiming ritual. Like, it's, as long as it's pagan, I'm pretty much down. As long as it's pagan, intersectional, and not like being giant piss babies about, not being racist if they are completely racist. So yeah. I really do like group work when it works. It's very hard to get the dynamic right. It's very hard to balance a lot of different people, their emotions, their spiritualities, their different sides, because there's going to be as many definitions of pagan as there are pagans. There's going to be people who follow the Wiccan Rede even if they're not Wiccan. There's going to be people who are Wiccan who don't follow the Wiccan Rede. There are people who believe that if you can't if you can't curse, you can't heal. There's some people who believe if you won't curse, you won't heal, or things like that. It's there's a lot of different sides, and you kind of have to figure out your group's ethics, your group's standpoints, and you also have to remember if you have a fairly open group, like a group where anyone could message you and come to an open event, there might be some people coming there for sexual predatory reasons because they think that pagans are very open. There could be people coming in just to be looky-loos, as we call them. Like people who just want to watch or make fun of the witches. You have to be very careful about that kind of thing. And that's where closed covens come in. Like that's where that kind of thing comes in. And that's what brings me to initiation. And what does initiation mean to me? Initiation is like a beginning. It's an entrance. It's a type of rite of passage. So it's kind of like there's different types of initiation. Like there's initiation in the sense of like hazing, like, oh, you're on the football team. We have to duct tape you to the flagpole in only your underwear. That's not really initiation. That's hazing, to be quite honest. And anybody who has had their self-esteem beaten down will be beaten down further by that kind of thing. Initiation is a ceremony or action that brings you into a tradition in paganism. For example, you would say you're a Wiccan initiate. If you are not solitary Wiccan, you would be a Wiccan initiate. You would be initiated into some form of Wicca. Which a lot of people say Wicca is an initiatory religion and you can't be Wiccan if you haven't been initiated. But there are solitary Wiccans, so, I mean, what have you. I believe that there's a lot of different places that do initiation. My group does not because we are more open. We are not a closed group. Well, we're trying to be more closed. Like, we're not going to be a completely closed off coven because we're not a coven, but we're trying to stave off the looky-loos and all those sorts of people that are toxic type people. But basically we're like in OBOD, I had an initiation and it wasn't from other people. It was a self-initiation. It was a self-dedication. Like most people call those self-dedications to their path, but it was like an initiation ritual that could be done solo or with other people there. And the other people is if you have a grove near you, which is like a druid group. But yeah, so basically initiation is kind of it. You don't need to be initiated into something to be pagan. That's just that. But you don't need, like, you don't, But if you want to be in a coven and they're saying you need to be initiated into their coven, then you need to be initiated into that coven. If the people who are running that coven or that group say that you need to be initiated to join, then you need to be initiated to join, and you need to do, if you want to join, you need to do what they're saying, because guess what? They're not government run. They're a private group. They can do what they want. Like, as long as they're not literally like hurting you, like going to kill you or assault you, as long as you want to join that group, you need to go through their initiation process, that kind of thing. And that might be why I don't know if I'll ever be committed enough to a coven at this point to be initiated. But then again, you never know. I might find a coven that I feel very particularly connected to. People that I want to work with all the time. People I want to be responsible to. Like, not responsible for, but responsible to. I'm not their parent, but there's certain responsibilities that you have once you join a coven and have that sort of thing. You'll have your role in that group, and you need to perform that role. Anyway, getting off topic, yeah, so that is pretty much what group work and initiation means to me. Leave a comment down below if you want to talk about anything that I said. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Blessed be.